Okay, guys, so let's start with GERD, gastroesophageal reflux disease, acid reflux, reflux disease, acid indigestion, heartburn are all the same, but they are different from gastritis or gastric ulcer. So in my last video, I did tell you the cause is when your sphincter, the esophageal sphincter, which is this ring around your stomach, right, doesn't close properly. So whatever makes this ring stay relaxed instead of closed after eating will cause acid from your stomach to backflow into the throat or into the esophagus and irritate your esophagus. That's acid reflux. Okay, so what can you do about it? Or let's continue with the causes, right? Low acid in the stomach, anything that relaxes the esophageal sphincter or that leaves this ring or the sphincter ring open can cause GERD. Another thing that can cause GERD is when you recline or lay down immediately after eating. You know, when you go to bed immediately after eating, you're supposed to be staying up, sitting up at least 2 hours after eating. But when you go lie in bed immediately after eating, your food will backflow back into your throat or your esophagus with acid, and that will cause an irritation. And then anything that reduces acid in the stomach, like when your food, the kind of food you eat reduces acid. You know, they say GERD, acid reflux, is a lifestyle disease or lifestyle condition. So there's a lot of lifestyle modification that you need to implement to help you treat GERD or acid reflux. So there are a lot of food that we eat that actually leaves this sphincter open, which leaves this ring open, and acid and food keeps backing up into the esophagus. So one, alcohol. Alcohol will leave the sphincter open. Two, caffeine. Too much caffeine or chocolates that contains caffeine will leave the sphincter open. Pregnancy also, because of the pressure in the abdominal region, will leave the sphincter open. And overweight or anything that will increase abdominal pressure, like pregnancy, belly fat, being overweight, can leave the sphincter open. And then food, high fatty food, processed food will leave the sphincter open and cause acid and food to backflow into the esophagus and cause irritation. So you see all this, like all these choices I just listed. If you fall in any of those, you can make those changes so that you can get relief. Okay, so another cause of GERD or acid reflux is for example, when you eat a large portion of food. There are people who in a sitting will eat a big bowl of heavy food. That can also cause acid reflux. Some medications can cause acid reflux. Junk food can cause acid reflux, like fried foods can cause acid reflux. Alcohol, smoking can cause acid reflux. Eating late at night because you're going to be going to bed as immediately can cause acid reflux. And not just going to bed early, also because metabolism is slow in the night, so you get to eat your heavier meal before. You should have early dinner, not late dinner, okay? Because of metabolism and digestion is slow at that time. So at that time, you have a lot of food in your stomach, and when you lay down, you have regurgitation into the esophagus. So those are some of the causes that I just listed. Let's talk about how we can treat this. And now, remember, I said the acid is less in the stomach for acid reflux. I'm sure some people are wondering, oh, I thought it's caused by acid. Yeah, it's caused by acid irritation traveling from the stomach to the esophagus. And it's because your sphincter is open, or that you're eating food causing your sphincter to be open. So you have to eat food that can increase your acidity so that the sphincter can close, or you have to discard those food that causes that relaxes your sphincter. Okay, so those food I just listed, do away with that. And one thing you should know, it's okay to have acid reflux maybe once in a month, but if you begin to have this regularly, like more than twice a week, then it's acid reflux. You need to start implementing some lifestyle changes, watching what you're eating. But if you notice that when you take more acidic food like citrus food, tomato, oranges, and you still get the pain, if it increases, then you should be thinking of gastric inflammation, gastritis, or gastric ulcer. Because with GERD, acid reflux, you should be able to manage it with citrus food like oranges. You should be able to manage it with even tomato. Spicy food shouldn't give you any irritation when you have GERD. Okay, but if you begin to have irritation, more pain after spicy food or citrus food like oranges, lemon, you should be thinking more of gastric inflammation or ulcer. And at that, you should seek medical attention. When you see a GI doctor or gastrointestinal specialist, they can conduct endoscopy where they put in a camera through the mouth. I did that once. So back, like I said, I actually had gastric ulcer, and that I knew I can attribute that to stress. So stress can cause gastric ulcer. So I had my endoscopy and they found that I had a gastric ulcer. So with gastric ulcer, the treatment pathway is different, which means you have to stay away from acid. They might put you on antibiotics if they find a certain bacteria in your stool. So the pathway is different. I'm going to talk about that in a different video. Okay, so this, I just laid out the simple steps for managing acid reflux. Basically, change what you eat. Don't lay down as soon as you eat. Take food containing citrus acid, increase acid content in your food. Add sea salt in your water, little sea salt in your water. And your vitamins also very important. Your vitamin B complex very important. And make sure you're staying away from those junk food. Reduce stress, which means you're sleeping, and reduce stress. Basically, remember, increase in stress increases cortisol, which is a stress hormone, and that also can cause acid reflux. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed this video, and in the next video I'm gonna be speaking about gastritis, gastric ulcer, on how to manage that, and then I'll see you there in the next video. Bye bye.